Now, of course, when it comes to summer offerings from the brand Sospiro, everybody talks about VIBRATO, which is absolutely amazing. It's grapefruit, it's tart, it's a little bit oceanic, kind of in the vein of Bulgari Tiger. There's one fragrance from the brand Sospiro that I think everybody should know about. That's the fragrance we're going to be talking about today. The fragrance is called Basso. I'm excited to give you my thoughts on this fragrance, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's episode and I give you my thoughts on Basso by Sospiro, it's a 2022 release, so it's fairly recent. I do want to start the video off first by saying that if you're a fan of fragrance-related content, top 10 fragrances videos, giveaways, unboxings, special guests, all that good stuff, I do want to say that please consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it, hit the bell, and give this video a thumbs up. And also, if you're looking for a really good price on 100% authentic Sospiro products, you may find them at Max Aroma. I'm going to leave all of the information down below in the description box. Of course, they have a lot of really hard to find designer and niche brands for really good prices, and they also have a service where you can sample the fragrances before you commit to purchasing a full-size bottle, which we know in the case of many niche brands is super expensive. So you don't want to dish out an arm and a leg for something that you might end up not falling in love with. So here we have Basso. This is composed by Christian Provenzano. He's an amazing perfumer and he's done so many wonderful fragrances. Recently, I've reviewed a fragrance by Spirit of Kings called Arakis, and he's basically done a lot of fragrances for that brand. I think the entire brand was basically composed by him. Here we have one called Basso. Came out just last year in 2022, if you're watching this video when I'm publishing it. And this fragrance has vetiver, nutmeg, grapefruit, mayflower, carnation. It has labdanum, it has some woods, gaiac wood, if I didn't mention that already. So there's a lot of really bright ingredients, a little bit of pepper as well. So it does have a tendency of getting a little bit dark. Actually gets compared to some really popular designer and niche fragrances. Of course, I'll let you know what those are, but let's go ahead and start things off with a quick look at the presentation. So right when this fragrance opens up, you are going to get that tart and juicy grapefruit ingredient. And it's funny because it's a very different grapefruit from what you'll get in VIBRATO. Now, I don't even know if there is grapefruit in VIBRATO. I have to look at the note breakdown, but I know that it's compared to Bulgari Tiger, and there is certainly grapefruit in Bulgari Tiger. But this does open up very juicy, very citrusy, very zesty. I also get a little bit of lemon, a little bit of orange. So it seems like more of a hodgepodge of citrus as opposed to just grapefruit or something like that. So it does open up very bright, very vibrant. You do have that citric element in the opening and it's quite juicy. So let me just go ahead and let the cat out of the bag. So this one gets compared a lot to Terre d'Hermès by Hermès. The comparisons are 100% justified, by the way. I did a side-by-side. I've owned Terre d'Hermès for so many years, have so many of the associated flankers as well. And it also gets compared to Oligarch by, I moved my rojas. It's just second nature. It's instinct to pull over and look at this shelf. Everybody was complaining about the shelf having a bow in it, so I took all the rojas out. But it does get compared to Oligarch. It also gets compared to Isola Blue, which is the rebranding of Oligarch by Roja Parfum. So if you know what Terre d'Hermès smells like, if you know what Isola Blue smells like, you're basically going to get something really similar with this fragrance. So you have that clean, earthy vetiver in the dry down. You have that beautiful citrus in the opening. There's a little bit of carnation in the heart, so it kind of gives it that old school, classy vibe to it, but it doesn't smell like dated or anything like that. Despite the fact that there is oak moss in here, some people might get the impression from a fragrance containing oak moss that it might be reminiscent of some of these like late 70s, early 80s, mid 80s types of releases, but that's not what you're going to get here. This one is actually quite heavy-handed on the citrus, a little spicy in multiple ways. The nutmeg actually gives it a bit of a freshness. The black pepper gives it a really nice, spicy, dark personality that becomes a lot more apparent as the fragrance dries down. You have those earthy, woodsy components, and the vetiver is really the star of the show. So even when you look at whether it be sandalwood or gaiac wood or oak moss or whatever, it's really more the vetiver that I get in the dry down than anything else. But at the end of the day, Basso is such an amazing summertime fragrance by Sospiro, and it actually lasts longer than Vibrato. And that's just me being honest with you. I get better performance from Basso. Of course, it's a totally different fragrance. So if you're a little bit tired of that Terre d'Hermès DNA, of course, you might opt for something like this. I think Montal also has a fragrance called Red Vetiver. Could be wrong about that. I might be misremembering the name, but they certainly have their own version of Terre d'Hermès. I think it's called Red Vetiver, and that one also smells pretty similar to this fragrance. So it's just a matter of personal taste. If you're looking for something with high quality ingredients, very clean, very polished, super long lasting, has that really natural, nice smelling vetiver with that really tart grapefruit with some other assorted citrus in the opening that are not listed in the note breakdown, but I'm telling you, you're gonna smell them. There's Mayflower, Carnation. It's a really beautiful composition. I do think for a lot of people, it's gonna be a little bit repetitive in your collection. So if you do have Terre d'Hermès, if you have Oligarch or Isola Blue by Roja Parfum, chances are you might not wish to add this one to your collection, but try it first. Max Aroma does give you the capability of getting a sample first. So see if you can get your hands on a sample. And if you like it enough, if you don't own any of those other fragrances that I mentioned, why don't you go ahead and pick this one up then? Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. Now, first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, gotta call a spade a spade. It's not very unique. Does smell very similar to Oligarch, Isola Blue, Terre d'Hermès, and basically a lot of other fragrances that are within that vein. But this fragrance does smell quite wonderful. Compliment getter, clean, refined, professional, office friendly. You are gonna get compliments wearing this one. It just comes across very clean and summery, and it's a perfect fragrance for this time of the year. I'm going to be going on a cruise with my family soon, and there's a very strong possibility that I'm going to be bringing either this one, Vibrato, or both, or I might just bring Bulgari Tiger or Arakis, which is also a Bulgari Tiger inspiration, basically. So longevity on this one, you're going to get about 8 hours, which is impressive considering the fact that this is quite citrus heavy. Projection is awesome. So for the first hour and a half of application, it will radiate beyond an arm's length. That actually performs a lot better than Terre d'Hermès. And I've been told that Terre d'Hermès has been reformulated any number of times throughout the years. So you might actually consider this a better performing option that smells more natural, higher quality, and in a really nice presentation. Quite beautiful, as a matter of fact. Of course, in terms of the versatility, it is a little masculine leaning. You can wear this one dressed up or dressed down. Anybody of any age can enjoy this one, but I think the hotter weather is really where this one is going to shine. As far as the presentation is concerned, absolutely beautiful. It has this little pedestal on the bottom here, all the information on the bottom, the gold hardware, the green bottle. It's a really nice sort of fuzzy velour, is it called? I don't even know, but it has a really nice skin to it, if you will. My final verdict on this fragrance is smells wonderful, compliment getter, highly professional, grapefruit and vetiver type of a fragrance. Very similar to Terre d'Hermès and Isola Blue by Roja Parfum, but I think this fragrance is going to give you a really good bang for your buck. So if you're in the market for a brand new citrus-based fragrance, you're looking for something versatile, fantastic performance, high quality ingredients, beautiful presentation, check out Basso by Sospiro. Once again, available at Max Aroma. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it. Hit the bell and give this video a thumbs up. Love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.